Exasperated, Torts, beyond frustrated. Part-timers, we sucked. Everybody wouldn't appraise the goalie. What do you make of that?
I don't know. It becomes difficult. And knowing Torts the way I do and having played for him, he's very passionate. And I understand that. But sometimes less is more. And this is the challenge. And for a lot of the great Jackets fans out there that had taken exception to certain things, this is kind of what I'm, you have a good team. I told John Davidson this a week ago, their team president. They've done a great job. You've got I really think Columbus isn't far. They're a contender. That's my belief. I think they've got outstanding pieces. You've got some franchise players. You're no longer an also-ran kind of run-of-the-mill franchise. You've established yourself with a good team that's 10 games over 500.
Right.
10 games. And you just said we're 7-3-1. Well, then I don't really, although there needs to be an urgency with which you play, I just think that that's a little bit too doom and gloom based on how well they have played this year. And I know every game matters. Of course, every period matters. But this is the challenge right now because those players are also playing without Nick Foligno right now. Heavy hearts for Nick Foligno.
Yes.
So hopefully him and his wife and their young daughter are doing really well.
Amen.
But that's the most important thing here. But the challenge is you don't want to lose your guys. You don't want to lose your guys because those are the guys that have to go out and battle every night. And I love the accountability. I love that fact about Torts. But you never want to get to a point to where you're having runaway press conferences. You don't want to have runaway press conferences. That's the type of stuff that they don't necessarily need right now. Because I do believe that him, Brad Shaw, the whole staff, as I said, Yarmo, JD, they've done a nice job putting this team together. And this is a team that's not far. I like their team a lot. They have a lot of key elements. But that's the kind of stuff that gets a little tiresome. If that's a player now, that's a problem. He's an attitude. He's got an attitude. It's not dissimilar to what happened with Jim Lights, right? Like Tyler Seguin's this, Jamie Benn's not that. It's
controversial.
I just think that that's not necessarily the tact. And if he wants to have those conversations, because I know Torts and he wants to have those conversations on the plane or on the bus or whatever, that's a different thing. But you don't want to be discrediting your players, so to speak, publicly. You don't want to kind of go down that road because this is a team that's not far off. I believe they're a contender. I've said as much privately to different people in that organization that they're a contender. And I feel that this is a team that is now getting a lot of attention because they are a good team. Because they are 10 games over 500. Because they're only, coming into tonight, only 1 point behind the Pittsburgh Penguins. So these are the things where you also have to maintain that standard because the standard can't be on the player's shoulders alone. Again, if that's a player, this is a huge problem. And now we're running the guy to town. He's surly, it's this, it's whatever. So you got to maintain that in a leadership capacity. I just think that this press conference got away from Torts. I think he just needs to be chill and still hold his players accountable because they got a lot of good guys in that room.